Patti in 1980, winning her first Tony Award for Evita. But don't cry for me, Argentina, or Patti, because her hot new memoir is loaded with great dish about the stage and celebrities and sex and more. So please welcome Patti LuPone.
Yeah.
This is an interesting chair.
Yes.
It's like a baby chair.
Yeah.
Anyway, you know, you are the multi-talented Patti LuPone. I mean, a lot of people know you from your TV show, Life Goes On. Remember that show? It was a great show.
I don't know if I missed it.
Very nice show.
I love that.
But you also have starred in some extraordinary musicals. Besides Evita, there's Les Miserables, Gypsy. I saw you in that one, Sunset Boulevard, Sweeney Todd. And I understand from reading about you here that you fell in love with the stage when you were 4 years old.
Yes. My dad was principal of an elementary school and it started an extracurricular program. And the first recital, I fell in love with the audience. I thought everybody was looking at me, smiling at me, and I realized I couldn't get in trouble up there. And so I fell in love with the audience. I just looked out there, and it was a thunderbolt. I went, this is where I belong, and I never looked back. It was just sort of, that's what it was.
You continued with that. You, after high school, you attended Juilliard, which is a very prestigious school, and there you met and fell in love with Kevin Kline.
I did.
Now you guys dated on and off.
I never knew that.
Yes,
you did.
You're the only one in the USA that doesn't know that.
They were together. You guys were on and off for 7 years.
Yeah.
You and Kevin Kline.
Yeah.
So can I ask you? You were on and off for 7 years. How come you guys broke up so many times? And why was it your first love?
Well, I think it's you had a first love. Everybody, how can you explain that? You have a first love.
Mine is dead, but that's all right.
Did you kill him?
He happens to be dead. What can I tell you?
You maintained her innocence.
But you were on and you were off.
Yeah, well, I think we were young and we were actors, and there was and Kevin was a very beautiful man, and there were lots of women.
Is.
Exactly,
Yeah.
and there were lots of women, I'm sure, that still love him, and Kevin sort of took advantage of that while we were together. So
It makes for a complicated relationship.
It's an actor's folly. It's what actors do. That's what they do. It's like, you like me? Okay, come here.
well, it's kind of like, but he was terrific. You know, he was a terrific man.
Speaking of love, obviously audiences loved you in Evita, and you won your first Tony. I want to know the ending pose. How did that come about?
Oh, well, you know, I originated Evita in America, but Elaine Page originated the role in London, and so she's the world premiere Evita, and she's English, and the end of the pose, Don't Cry for Me, Argentina, was sort of like the Queen does. Do you know what I mean? And there were people telling me in rehearsal period, oh, Elaine did this and Elaine did that, and I said, stop telling me what Elaine did, because as an actor, I'm not going to be able to discover it. So the last person that said, oh, do that thing was the famed photographer Martha Swope when she took photos for the front of house in San Francisco. She said, oh, Patti, do that thing. And I went, I don't do that. I do this. And I'd never done it before. And I said, well, that must be what I do from now on in. Then they did a Life magazine article on Evita coming to Broadway and the real Evita Perón. Believe it or not, there was a picture of Evita Perón on the Casa Rosada like this.
You know, Patti, not that it's a bad thing, but you've been called a diva.
Yeah, I have been.
You have been called a diva because you refuse to go on stage unless everything is perfect. You trash your dressing room. Give us the dish here.
The trashing of the dressing room was when I was fired from Sunset Boulevard after months and months of devastation. Months of being told that I wasn't going to be fired, and dealing with press, not in England, but in America. Dealing with devastating press in America that I should be fired, that I am going to be fired, that when I was fired through Liz Smith's column. I didn't even get the courtesy of a
So
phone
Andrew
call.
Lloyd Webber didn't say anything to you?
Or really useful. We found out, I was in my dressing room getting ready for the show when my agent called and said, are you sitting down? Yes, you've just been fired. Excuse me?
Nobody
and it was in Liz Smith's column.
Wow.
And so that's when I took batting practice in the dressing room. But I just because it was months and months of it.
Italian, all right?
Exactly, thank you. But it was months and months of it. So I just took a floor lamp, trashed everything, and walked out the door and said, I don't know when I'm coming back.
That's what I would have done, too.
I know you would.
Yeah.
All of us know that.
But let's not talk about that man and his stuff. Let's not talk about him.
Nah.
Let's talk about something fabulous like Gypsy.
Yeah.
You were
She was great, Matt.
spectacular. I heard you every night because I was next door.
Of course you were.
Xanadu. Yes.
Of course you
So
were.
we would hear Rose's turn. Everything stopped for Rose's turn. You know, we'd be singing, but we'd be singing like this because we'd be listening. It's so fabulous.
Thank you. Thanks.
How long had you wanted to do Rose?
Well, I guess I didn't want to do it when I was a kid. When the first production I was in, I didn't want to do it because she was kind of weird to a kid, you know. This and Kathy Sheldon, who played it, was this wonderful, tall, strange girl. So I wasn't interested in Rose. I think in later years, when everybody said you should really play Rose, you should really play Rose, then I went, oh, okay, I guess I should be playing Rose.
Right.
Then all of a sudden, I wanted to play Rose, and then I was denied it.
Right.
Then all of a sudden, it happened, and then I understood why people wanted me to play it.
Well, I
And-
have to tell you, baby, you slapped the poo out of that book. You slapped the poo out of that role. Okay? Listen, we love this woman. And
love you,
everybody in this audience, you get in the book. Okay? You get in the book. Thank you, Patti LuPone, and we'll be right back.